everybody, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome, and if you have already subscribed, welcome back. If you have watched my previous video, you have seen that I recently posted a great recipe that shows you guys how to make the perfect tender and juicy turkey. And guys, while I posted this video, I told you guys to make sure to come back because I'm going to show you guys how to use your leftover turkey meat to make the perfect pho. If you're interested and want to see that video, please keep on watching.
Cooking made easy.
Before we start with our great pho recipe, my name is Claude and I am the owner and founder of Labongo Seasoning. Labongo Seasoning is an e-commerce website that I created when I was in grad school where we sell organic green seasoning, organic meat seasoning. Our meat seasoning comes in 3 flavors. We have a regular, a mild, a spicy. We have organic barbecue marinade, organic jerk marinade, organic hot pepper sauce, and so much more. During the holiday, we also have a seasoning gift basket and we also sell cremas. If you want to try one of our seasoning, since all of the recipe in this channel, I make them using the seasoning from our store, I'll make sure to have the link right here and I will also make sure to have the link in the description below. Alright, let's start with our recipe. This pho recipe, guys, is very easy to follow. As I mentioned earlier when I posted my turkey recipe, I told you guys do not throw away your turkey meat leftovers, the bones. Right now it is raining outside. We are up north. It already started snowing. It is very gloomy. So it's the perfect time to be cozy and we all enjoy a perfect bowl of soup, a perfect bowl of pho. So I'm going to show you guys how to repurpose your meat and how to make the perfect pho. Alright, let's jump right in with the recipe. Alright, so this is a leftover turkey meat. I already carved the rest of the turkey meat. It's mostly bone, but there's some meat in there. And this is the turkey meat that we are going to use. I also have some more here. So we are going to use the turkey meat. This is mostly bone, so it is really good because it's gonna give us a good broth. And we are using the organic spicy meat seasoning for this recipe. Even though this seasoning is a spicy meat seasoning, it is also good for people who are vegetarian and vegan. And this seasoning is an all-in-one. It is gluten-free, all organic with no preservative, and it is also made with pure unprocessed virgin oil. So we are going to use this organic spicy meat seasoning, and this is the same seasoning that I use to season the turkey. So if you have not seen the video, guys, I prepared and made the most tender and juicy turkey, go ahead in my channel and watch that because these are the leftover turkey that we are using, of course, for this recipe. And this is the little spice bag that I am using. I hope you can see. And one thing I like about this spice bag, it comes with a little bag that you can put all the spice inside and it doesn't go all over the food. So this is the spice bag that I am using. It has cinnamon, allspice, coriander seed, and it also have some clove and fennel seed as well. And this will give the pho a good aroma. And I also have some basil. I just have to wash them. So I have some nice basil. I have some green onions. I have some yellow onion that I'm going to add in the broth. And I also have some ginger. I already cut them. Ginger. And I have some extra cinnamon stick. And I also have some cilantro. And I find this at the Asian market. I hope you can see. The light is not okay. You don't have to use this, guys, because the organic meat seasoning already has everything in it. But I decided to try it, so I'm just going to add it in the broth. But if you don't have this, it's no big deal. The turkey is already seasoned and you have the organic meat seasoning, you're all good to go. So if you don't have this, it's no big deal. And I also have some chicken broth. So now this is the part we are going to cook everything. I'm just going to add everything in there, just not the green onion and the cilantro and the basil, because this is what we are going to use to garnish the pho. But I'm going to add everything else in there and let it boil for 45 minutes on medium heat. It has been raining for the last past days, so gloomy outside. That's why this recipe is perfect. So I want mine a little spicy. So in mine, I'm just going to add some chili peppers. And this is the noodles that I am using. I believe these are rice noodles. Those are the small rice noodles. They have a lot of different style at the Asian market. When you are doing this recipe, you can choose to do whichever one you want. And they also have this one as well. This one is a rice stick. This one is large. You can use this as well. I usually use this when I'm doing the boko, I believe. When I add carrots and all of that, I usually use the large one, but today we are going to use the small one for this recipe. And this recipe is perfect around this time. Not only you are saving the remaining of your turkey meat, but you are also doing something that is right around this season, very cozy and warm. So now I'm going to add the meat in the pot. Okay, now we're going to add all the meat, and I'm going to add water. Okay, more water. Now I'm going to add the spicy meat seasoning. And I'm going to add the chili pepper. Now I'm going to add the onions. And this is the spice bag. It comes with this bag, so I'm going to open it and dump all the spice in there. I'm going to add the ginger cinnamon stick and make sure I add all the spice in there. Now that I have all my spice, so I'm going to add it in the broth. And this was the beef flavored that I showed you guys, so I'm going to add that in there, and I'm going to add some chicken broth. So now that everything is added, I'm just going to cover this and let it boil for 45 minutes. And make sure you taste your broth because you don't want it to be too salty. Me, I'm not a heavy salt user. I'm just going to add a little bit more of the beef broth, but don't add too much. Or if you don't want to add any of the beef broth, you don't have any of that, add more of the meat seasoning. So now we are just going to let this boil. And guys, I love making this recipe. Not only I make pho all the time, but it is a great way to not throw away your leftover, and you get a great broth that is really delicious. The perfect pho for this season. So now while I am letting this boil, guys, you can follow the direction of the noodles that you are using. This one said to boil it for 6 to 8 minutes. So now I'm going to boil the noodles, and also I am going to prepare the garnishing that I am going to be putting on the broth. So I still have some chili peppers, I have some onion, basil, cilantro, and some green onion, and I also have a lime to add some extra zest. Alright guys, our pho is done. It's been boiling for 45 minutes. Look at, we have that nice broth. It is ready, and this was the spice bag, stays intact, and I tasted this. It is super delicious, guys. Great recipe. Save your turkey leftover meat, don't throw them away, save the bones, all of that, and it will give you some nice good broth. Really good. And this is what we are going to use. These are our toppings. I have some cilantro, I already cut it. I have some onion, some lime, green onion, basil, and I also have some red pepper. If you want to add some extra heat, you can do that. So this is what we are going to use to garnish our pho. These are the noodles that I decided to use. Guys, since this is extremely hot, I know I mentioned earlier to follow the direction and to cook it for 6 to 8 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boil some water, and I'm going to let this sit in the boil water for 3 minutes. I'm not going to boil this because this is extremely hot. When I add it in there, it's going to continue cooking. So I'm just going to boil some water and let this sit in there for 3 minutes, then drain it and rinse it under some cold water. All right, let's get ready to start plating. And a nice bowl of pho is ready. Look at this. I already put the noodles in there and you can see the meat. So now we are going to garnish. This is what we are going to put on top. Now we are going to add some cilantro on top, some green onions, some of the chili peppers, not much, because we don't want this to be too hot. And we are going to add some onions and some basil. I cut some of the basil because the leaves were so big, so I had to cut it smaller. And some basil. Now we are going to add some lime for some zest. Oh, this is so good. And I'm going to add more cilantro and green onions, because I like mine with a lot of them on top. We add more onions. And I love basil in my pho. I don't care how big the leaves are, I'm going to add it in there. And that, guys, this is how you repurpose your turkey meat to make a nice bowl of pho. And here is the final look. The noodles are in there. The broth is so rich and flavorful. I hope you guys try this recipe. This is one of my favorite recipe to make, especially around this season. I'm telling you, your leftover turkey meat this year, don't throw them away. You have to try this recipe. I would appreciate if you remember to subscribe to help support my channel and help me grow. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.
Cooking made easy.